All right, here we go. Season 3 or season 2. Getting ahead of us.
I
ain't
know.
Doug?
I don't want to get old that fast.
What, number 4? We're on 4 now?
Yes.
Number 4 for this season.
2.4.
2.4. Me and Doug started this season. We're just kind of winging it because Jay's doing some construction around here. Our next podcast will probably be back live and where you can see us. At least that's what Jay's back with us today.
Yeah.
Doug, good
Yeah.
Jay.
I'm back.
He's
Yeah.
back.
So not next week. You're taking next week off. The week after that, right?
That is correct.
Yeah,
That is correct.
we'll be at the Big Boy studio next door. Yeah.
And if not, it'd be maybe a week or two after that. Me and Doug's getting ready to go on an excursion here pretty soon.
Yep. Going on a cruise.
So going on a cruise, yeah. So,
I think we're better if they don't see us.
you like it. You like it better like that, don't you?
How about we have?
I don't have to dress up.
I say we ask people in the comments to say they want to see us or not.
See, that's same here.
So
do
comment if
that.
you want to see us or not.
And that's why I wore all my attire today, if somebody wants to see it.
And
but
that,
so I didn't get it.
That voice you're hearing right now is we got a couple new guests here. Like I was alluding to, me and Doug kind of just winging it this year and just kind of inviting people as we go. And I think me and him are going to pin down the rest of the year so we can get anybody here. Brian McGinley hit me up. They wanting to come on.
Sweet. Yeah.
But our two new guests is the first one is a good buddy of mine way back in the day. See him here and there, and
Reds baseball.
you already know. Me and you and Rick Weaver were really good friends, but it's Big Bob. Big Bob. Bob McKenzie. Gannon said it all the time to you, Bob. How did that start?
What part?
Before
Oh.
I'm gonna come right back to that. Before we do that, though, I want to let everybody else know who we have here besides you today.
There you go.
Kind of grew right up in the same area, same neighborhood, just about.
Wow. Yeah.
And I really like her. Lisa Pruitt is in the house. How we did that, I do not know, but I called her up and said, "Hey, Lisa, won't you come?" She goes, "What? You don't want me?" I said, "Yeah, I do." I said, "Come on in, hang out with us." And she said, "Okay." She goes, "I'll give it a shot." Lisa, how you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Good
Thanks
to be
for asking.
here. Good to see you.
Thank you.
So, Bob, tell me about the John Gann. How you got Big Bob? Because
It's-
every time I see you, you always look at me and goes, "Bigger Bob."
Yeah. That was just in the last few years because both of us got bigger in the last few years. Yeah, it was just one of those. It's all the sports and stuff he'd done. It was just one of those. The old Casey and Scott Kell, just talking about everything. And next thing you know, John got the nicknames just out of nowhere. It's like I was like, why am I the big? I was 80 pounds wet in my 8th grade year. I was like, why am I the biggest guy? I'm the littlest guy in school. I was actually nicknamed String Bean for a couple people, so I had no idea.
Doug, I was thinking in here today, I was like, man, I said my tech buddies and girls they're going to get a little bit jealous because almost everybody bringing in here is Hal.
Oh, yeah.
Lisa and Bob both here, and you,
Yep.
all from Hal High School.
Yep.
That's right.
Bob, you got out in 81.
Here you go.
Lisa, you got out in 80.
80.
That's right.
But a lot of these are folks that we knew from Christian Park.
Oh,
Yeah, we
So,
almost got another Christian Park segment today, don't we?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but that's all right.
Yeah. I'm just, letting the text guys know not to
Did you
feel
play,
too bad.
You played ball at
You're
Christian
not,
too, didn't you? Girls team?
treating
Yes, I did.
Softball.
What team was you on?
The Owls.
The Owls. Orange?
No, we were blue.
Yeah. The Falcons. The Falcons. That
They
was
were
the team.
green, yeah.
Yes. That was Lisa Ransom and them.
And that was Iva Iron's team.
Iva Irons.
Oh, she had the team, did she? Irons? Wasn't it a tough team?
I know Hank
Did-
was my
She was
first
big.
coach.
Hank Irons
I like
Irons.
Hank.
I did
Yeah.
too.
on the Indians.
Yes.
We went to championship. Got beat 4-3. I still think about that today.
I do too. I still have that trophy.
Oh,
So
thanks.
I get a look at it every now and then, dust it off.
Take that, Bobby.
I think Iva was like Gannon. She got to choose her team.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She handpicked.
Well,
I think
And she did
Gannon.
well.
Yeah. Well, and Gannon, he was always involved with the kids, right? So he knew.
He
who
knew.
the
He
good
knew he
player-
wanted
He
to
knew
play.
the
especially when you
prospects.
was getting low in the draft.
Yes.
He knew probably better than anybody.
He was the Dick Vitale back in the day.
Of
he
Christian
did
Park,
all the stats
absolutely.
and just studied them all. And
Now, Bobby and Hal, all the sport, you did about everything, didn't you?
in St. Bernardus, I had 4 seasons. I had basketball, baseball, football, and wrestling. So I didn't have
Also,
a break.
they did basketball and wrestling
Yeah.
separate.
Right. Well, it's like I said, that's how the seasons are.
Yeah.
If you look at spring, but still basketball, whatever.
What about high school?
high school? I only did 2 because they're 3 times
Baseball, wrestling.
Baseball and wrestling.
I thought you played football. You didn't play football.
Hell no, I was only 80 pounds
Right.
my freshman
Now,
year.
Lisa, I know you was a
graduated
cheerleader.
120.
Yes.
What else?
Was you
Anything
mat made
else?
too? What you mat made?
Cross
No.
country.
Cross country
Cross
and track.
country,
Cross country and track.
At how? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you did a lot of running.
Yeah. Did a lot of running.
Did most people
So
at
how
Hal?
did you do that if you was in football season? And
Oh,
you,
I could do those, but I couldn't do gymnastics and things like that I wanted to
so
get
you
into.
could do those and still cheer. Mm-hmm. You cheer all 4 years?
3
3 out of 4. You didn't. What year didn't you do it?
freshman year.
So you sophomore, junior, senior. Mm-hmm. I remember all that. Trust me.
Well, yeah, the cheerleaders actually got me more involved in the sports than the players did.
Yeah.
I knew
Oh,
more.
yeah.
I knew more of them than I did most of the guys on the team. I
That's
did.
what it
Well, I
was.
shouldn't
Well,
say.
Matt
I knew a
Mays
lot of
the same
cats
way.
on the team.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So Bobby did 3 sports. Who did you?
I did 4 in grade school.
Who did you hang out with the most at Hal?
Oh man. Well,
I mean,
we
who
lived
your
next
buddies
door.
was. Obviously, mine was Doug, but he went to Hal. But, I
But
mean,
they were like inconsistent. I mean, it's one of those. I didn't really have as many. I mean,
so you didn't have a
sports.
couple really
Right,
close
right.
friends, but you knew a
But-
lot of people.
Oh yeah. Still today. I mean, I was terrible at 90% of the sports. I mean, I was a little guy at that time. I didn't.
I
My
don't know.
senior year, I was only 126 pounds. My senior year.
Well, I recall
And baseball was Christian.
when
Park
you
was
played
my
baseball at
favorite.
Christian Park. Well, here's what I remember
Right.
about you. You was all right,
And so getting it.
11 to 12, but when you got 15,
Right.
14, 15, you was pretty tough.
Yeah, well, and I'd say yeah, but I meant as in, and here's my funny story on the side of that. I was always a catcher for most of my baseball career at Christian Park. Well, you think about it, nobody wants to catch the hot ass summer and stuff. So I'm thinking, but at Christian Park, it's the safest. You got all that equipment on you. The fight breaks out. So it's like run hell. I'll just stand here with the helmet on and everything. So that's my
A
point.
fight
was-
would break out at
and
Christian
then,
Park,
especially
too.
It
on the
could,
Reds
yes.
team. That was one of those Ronnie Creek and them. Oh
Well,
wow!
even my Giants team.
Oh,
my
yeah.
first year of Giants, I was like 10, 9. And then, but I'm now this is my team. Think about this. And all you guys are going to be able to relate because you know most of the
Right.
people.
Yeah.
Larry Struthers,
Well, yeah.
Mike McCarty,
McCarty, yeah.
Derek Tamber,
Fighters.
Malott.
Oh wow. Mike
I mean, these guys were fighting.
right.
I'm like, Dad, I said, these guys are rough. He goes,
Yeah.
you'll be all right. You're on the right team.
exactly. Exactly.
Now, Lisa, who'd you run around with? I know you had quite a few friends, but who would you say your closer friends were in high school?
In high school, there's, Muriel, Diane, Brenda, Rocky.
Brenda Phillips,
Mm-hmm.
Muriel Dow. Now, I don't know those people. I know who they are, and I think they
And
might
you
know.
know Lori Doherty.
Oh, yeah, and they
she's
might
from
know.
grade school.
I'm sure they probably heard my name. But, me and Doug was such good friends that I knew everybody because Doug would tell me, that's who that is, that's who that is. And I'm like, ooh, okay. But he had a lot of close friends, and those names popped up. Your closer friends. Dean, what was Diane Dean?
Diane Dean.
And
You mentioned
Lisa
her a
Ransom.
lot. You mentioned Brenda Phillips a lot.
Yep.
Obviously, we all know Lisa Ransom.
Lisa Ransom.
Was it Bemis too?
Mindy and
Mindy,
Lisa
yeah,
Bemis.
Yeah.
All cheerleaders.
I think.
A lot of cheerleaders.
Yeah.
Or
Hornet
they were
Honeys.
Hornet Honeys.
Hornet
Mhm,
Honeys.
Honeys, yeah.
That's right.
Wait, we call that over tech tight nets.
Tight.
Yeah, we like that.
Tight nets.
You should
Oh.
have been at Howe.
Do what now?
You should have been at Howe.
He 90%,
I would almost have to agree.
everything he's done is with the PAL
That's
people.
where he should have been.
I know.
Dad said no.
That's it.
Yeah, this is what it is. Doug, why don't you tell me a good house story back in the day? You got one? Comes off the top of your head?
Oh, man.
That won't get us in trouble.
He's probably got a
Well,
list.
but back in the day, one of the things that I remember doing, remember when they had the clubs,
Yes.
like the Kittens and the Donnells, and
Oh, really? I don't know nothing about
Embers,
this.
yeah.
We didn't have nothing like that.
yeah, they
Tech.
had these little girl clubs, and at the very beginning of the year, they had different members that would.
Was this kind of like Grease? And you had the different clubs, and you got a jacket?
Yes. Well, I don't, yeah. Some of them, I think they did make shirts or something. You're right. They had.
Yeah.
Might have
Really?
sweatshirts. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, anyway. So, being that I was running with the crowd and having a good time, we was all having a blast. I got to go and you get to make up like syrup and put oatmeal in it or whatever, and you got to pour it on the the girls who were initiate. It was called initiation.
Initiation,
Yeah.
exactly,
Right.
at Ellenberger Park.
Yes. So and I mean it was all nobody did anything gross, but we'd mix up some
That stuff
syrup
had
or
been
whatever.
sitting in the sun for weeks.
Really?
Sap.
Oh yeah, all the stuff they put together. That was
I always tried to be cool with them, but yeah, there were folks out there that were
That
the
were a little
girls-
vindictive, huh?
yeah,
the
a little,
girls
little
that
more.
did it was bad.
Was it
Yeah.
bad?
Yeah.
I mean, nobody wanted you in their car to take you home.
Oh, yeah.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
player.
You were,
Yeah,
It was
you
like
were
covered.
sap.
You were absolutely
covered head to toe.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So, Bob, out of the other three sports at Hal, or the two sports at Hal, was you a better baseball player or was you a better wrestler?
Well, 50-50 on that one.
Now I liked wrestling. I wrestled my freshman year.
Yeah.
That's I took judo as I was younger, and then it kind of turned
what
into
weight class?
wrestling. I was 105, 102,
See, that was-
something like that.
Yeah,
Is that what it
105
was?
was the first.
105. Well, they had a 98.
98,
Yep,
then
and I was
105.
over that, and I was wrestling.
My
I was
freshman year, I was 105
like 100
or
something.
98.
You guys
Wow.
actually had a really good wrestling program back
Oh
in
yeah,
the
Oh,
day.
yeah.
didn't
Jim
you?
Matt-
Marvin. Jim
yeah,
Marvin
yeah.
was. He's
Matt
Hall of Fame.
Langenbacher went what?
Langenbacher
4
was-
years without losing?
He's
Yeah.
a senior year.
Yep.
He was really great.
Yeah, Big
was
Jim
wild.
Ping was.
He was our heavyweight.
boy, and
Jabez
agile.
Gunn. Jabez
Jabez
Gunn.
was. Yeah, we had some. Like
You
you
had
say,
the
we,
Jacobs boys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Kenny.
Robbie and
Robbie,
Robbie
yep.
and Kenny.
yeah, we had a good little squad. I only wrestled my freshman year, but man, I don't think I was ever in better shape.
Yeah.
Running them back stairs
Oh,
back
yeah.
there,
Oh, yeah.
man, that was really
Get
what
flat
it was.
foot.
Yeah, that was what it was all about.
Now, Lisa,
You-
how well did you do in all that running you did in track? And was you pretty good or average?
I did okay.
Did
I'd
you
say
place a
average.
lot?
I'd say average.
Average?
Yeah.
You have fun with it?
Did you
did
get any
have fun.
ribbons? You remember
Well,
again?
yeah, but not what you want.
Ribbons.
You
But
know what I mean?
What
Not when you-
outstanding player? Nothing like that.
Yeah,
More.
nothing like that. Nothing
You know,
like
I
that.
do recall a few, I think I've seen a few maybe yearbook photos of you.
Oh yeah, I've
Look-
seen those.
Oh, for heaven's
Did you
sake.
see those too?
Yeah. Because I had a freshman wrestling picture in one of mine.
Did you?
Yeah. I
My
think
brother
it was
Tony
freshman year.
wrestled. Did you guys used to always wear those little suits?
Oh, yeah,
You go around
singlets, yeah.
chewing gum and
What are they
spinning
called?
for hours.
Classic suits. It's a
Yes.
sweater.
Yep.
Yeah.
Singlets.
He had to get
Singlets.
down to his weight.
That
and
was
it's
that
like-
was it was a silver
That was-
a plastic suit. And my
Yes.
God! And Jim Arvin said, when these walls start sweating, then we'll go home.
Yeah.
And all the walls were padded. Like God, it was. But it was like a fog when you left that room. That it was crazy.
Now,
He was
Bob,
a great coach.
you went on into the military after high school.
Right, 82nd Airborne.
82nd
Yeah,
Airborne.
4 years there. I
4
wish
years.
I retired there. That'd be
You know, our buddy Rick Weaver retired.
we were in the buddy system. He went
Oh,
in with
really?
me.
I didn't even know that. You
It's
think I
four-
would have knew that?
4 guys. We all went in the buddy system.
There you go.
Buddies.
Who were
Yeah,
they?
it was me, Rick Weaver, guys at the bowling alley, Mel Cox, and Brian. Or no,
Did you guys work at the bowling alley together?
yeah. Oh, the All Star Bowls. I got so many stories of those. It's unbelievable.
Yes.
It's still one of the highlights of my life. I was $2.85 student wage, and I thought I was the king. Yeah, I thought.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But it
Where,
was
where was
great.
that? Playbow?
No, All Star Bowls.
All-Star.
All-Star.
Eastgate.
I
Eastgate.
remember it now since he said it.
Yeah.
Because Rick didn't work a real long time there, but he worked there for a little while.
Right, yeah. I think he worked in the back as well.
Right, he
Right,
did.
yeah.
I remember him working in the back.
Right. And then I worked my way up to pro shop at the end there before I went in the Army. And the owner was he's hard, old school, man. They don't make them like that anymore. You know, you don't need this 10-cent raise. I go, okay, Ted, you know, dang. It's like you just go back to work, you know, just deal with it.
So did you bowl?
Oh, yeah.
Did
And
you?
kind of a half-ass bowler as well. But like I said, my whole life just
But you
sports
had
were like
fun.
I participated. That's
Yeah.
where
Yes.
kids nowadays, you got out of the house, you didn't come in till the street light came on. You know, at that
Right.
time, Dad's still going,
Exactly.
"What are you doing in here?" You know, it's like,
Right.
but you rode your 10-speed around the block. You know,
Your parents
do
had
not.
no idea where you were.
No,
You
but
just come home for dinner
That's what I was
and
telling
out
you.
till
The
dark.
story was I turned 16, and Mom goes, "So what do you want to do? You know, you get ready to drive your car." I go, "You know." I could pause for a little bit. I go, "I'd like to ride my bike off the block." And she's like, her face got real wide. She goes, "Oh, I forgot. I never let you go off the." I said, "Yes." I said, "But I didn't." I kind of.
So you was that good of a kid.
I'm
you
telling
listened.
you. But we had the door. I could see my front door back there because we had no air conditioning. You know, most of the house, we had an 800 square foot house, and I could still see the front door because it was painted white. It was dark. When it was open, it was dark. You know, so I could say. So I went to the corner, then I hauled ass to the end of the street where I wanted to go, around
You know,
Fletcher. You know, all
yeah.
by St.
That
Bernard's.
reminded
There
me
you
of a
go.
story back in my neighborhood today. I'll tell it real quick. I'm spending the night over at Doug's house one night. And Doug's house was probably the only house, or very few, that had air.
Oh yeah.
So we get up one morning. It was in the summer.
Yeah.
And Doug goes, "Okay, let's go." I said, "Go." I said, "Where are we going?" He goes, "Let's go outside." I said, "Why?"
Exactly.
You remember that?
Yeah.
I looked dead at him. I said, "Why?
Right.
Why do we got to go out there for?"
Right.
He goes, "Well, that's what we do." And I'm like, "Oh shit, I don't. Let's stay in here."
See, in my house, we got to the big time. I had finally at the end there. I got one bedroom. Mom and Dad's bedroom was the air conditioned house, so I had mowed those yards, which I shouldn't have mowed other people's yards, and I had not taken any money from and stuff. So I'd run in, go to that bedroom, and just lay on that bed like it was like an ice box. Only that bedroom had the air, so it was always closed and stuff. So I had to suffer the rest of the day. But then when we finally moved up, he bought a big air conditioner, and here's an 800 square foot house, but it still only had that one AC in the bedroom. It's like, God, but when you have mowed that grass and you come in there and lay on that, oh my God, it's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
But kids nowadays, they won't do that stuff. What do you mean we don't have air?
You know, we got up in age there, 13, 14, 15, 16. Doug took me over to Boyd's house and got to know some of the people living in that neighborhood there. And then we kind of dove over, crossed Emerson. Then I realized, man, I said, there's Mackenzie, Kyle,
Yeah.
Annette Miles,
all
all
that-
right there. Boom, boom, boom.
All on that court.
Yeah.
Right.
We used to play all the sports right there.
Oh yeah.
And then you went on around Hubbard, lived around close.
Right? Down the street.
I mean, I guess I probably could still many. And then you lived across English.
Yeah.
And there was but I mean, it's like, man, I knew all those people,
Bruce Shadio was
but I didn't know where
corner.
everybody really lived.
Yeah.
And then Marie Bronstrup lived across the
Lived
street.
right
from
down
Marie
Yeah,
lived
yeah.
right there.
Across
Yeah,
Fletcher,
yeah.
Yep.
But we used to play all the sports right there on that court, and we used to have tennis, baseball.
Well, yeah,
there.
you guys
Oh,
kind of
there
had
you
a
go.
Right.
good little setup
Oh,
because
yeah.
you was out of the way of the traffic
Right.
if necessary.
Yeah, because we'd yell car, and people come around.
Right.
Denny May was always he was the roughneck of the whole neighborhood. But then, Annette Miles is was one of the better of all the boys. She was the better of the people. In
Now,
the
She
team.
played on.
Did she have a brother,
Falcons?
Tony,
and who was the other one?
Brian was her
Brian.
brother.
I think she did.
But then her dad was a cop, I think, as well.
Okay.
But then back to the sports of there, I had a gravel driveway, and I had a basketball from Zare, hard plastic. It had the ABA road on it, and I dribbled on a rock, even through the winter. So I'm dribbling on this river rock, balls shooting out of my hand all the time and stuff. And here next door, Kyle, he was playing it every once in a while too. We used to set up plays and everything like that, but like I said, I had a half car driveway narrow. So when the ball went out, it went out, so it's something else. So, but then towards the end there, his dad got big, he went to the fancy driveway all the way up down the
Right.
drive, all the way to
Concrete.
back, came around concrete, had
Yeah.
its own little, you guys remember that
Oh,
basketball
yeah.
court
Well,
down there?
yeah.
So here I am on my little pissant thing with the homemade backboard, no net or anything,
Yeah.
in the snow. It was hard. You throw the ball out, your fingers just break,
Oh,
you know.
yeah.
So I at least got able to go over to Kyle's, and it was just a Cadillac.
The price of participation.
Exactly. Yeah.
Big Bob.
What
Big
it cost to
Bob.
participate.
Big Bob.
But yeah.
That was great.
I remember those. I remember having a basketball goal attached to a tree behind your house, Bobby.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yes, we did. That was some good times.
Oh yeah. We had the red, white, and blue basketball.
Oh, yeah,
It wasn't a better ball to shoot because you could watch the rotation of it.
Right.
It was just, you could sit there and just watch the ball rotate and be like, yeah, I'm shooting that one right. So
We did a
Only
lot
he
of
would think
stuff.
that.
What'd you say, Lee?
Only he would think of that. Watching the colors swirl.
oh yeah. Well, I was,
ABA, that's why
I was
had
trying to
mine.
hit all my shots.
ABA,
Did you ever heard
spin on it.
Did you ever hear the story about my dad pulling in the driveway? We moved from the court,
Tree.
from the tree.
Yeah.
Dad put us up a pole, and we was getting the big time.
There
Well,
you
we
go.
played for a while, and we
Yeah.
didn't have any net. So Dad finally gets us a net, but he didn't put it up. So me and Doug's gonna put this net up.
On your own?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So I got the ladder out, and Doug's kind of holding it, and I'm up there putting it together. And all of a sudden, Doug's ready to shoot. First shot on the net with
Yeah.
the net, and I'm like, nah, I'm shooting it. I'm dunking it.
Throw me the ball.
Throw me the ball.
Okay.
So Doug throws me the ball. I dunk it, all 4'11" of me, and I looked down and went, whoa! And all of a sudden, I'm not letting go.
So that's pretty.
So all of a sudden, I start hearing,
You got a nice little drop.
and it ripped down. I come falling.
With your brand new net.
And
go,
rim.
and rim in my hands. And all of a sudden, I hit the ground, look at Doug, and my dad pulls in the driveway and sees the whole
heavens.
thing.
The old dad story.
Walks up to me and Doug, and he goes, Bobby, he goes, I will never, ever replace that. And he never did.
No, he didn't.
That's my dad.
After he said it, Doug looks at me and goes, hey, I got to go.
That's all I need. That was all I needed to
Is
hear.
that where your favorite word player came in at? I gotta go player.
I gotta go, player.
Player.
And he never did.
Were you yelling at him to let go?
Well, no, I was. You know, I
were
was
watching.
Let
just
go.
watching him, and yeah. Well, you got to realize he was really 4'11". I mean, we ain't going with that player.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking. We're probably 10 years old, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, he was maybe 4'2". Wow. Yeah, he looked like he was. You know, hell, it had me scared.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, damn, player, if you fall from up there, you could really get hurt. You know. So yeah, down he came though with everything. The net got used one time.
Oh,
It got dunked on, and that was it. Wow. And after that net was.
But that you know, you remember that last game of the Reds? Creek hits that shot down the third on a 3-0 count. Dad comes unglued. Mm-hmm. Creek, this means take.
Exactly.
I don't care if the whole park
He's
knows it.
shaking.
Yeah.
He's shaking. Creek.
Then him and
They
Carl
always
Widener.
throw his hat down the ground.
Yeah. Then him and Carl Widener get in a fight.
Mm-hmm.
He
Well,
kicks Carl Creek off the team.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at him going, Dad, you do realize that was our last game. He goes, I don't care. They're still off the team.
Yeah.
Right.
I said, okay, wait, they don't get a trophy or what?
He made a point.
Well, back in, you didn't get a participation
No,
trophy.
yeah.
So.
No, that's-
Either one or he didn't. But see, that's why Bobby wanted to be the catcher.
There's my
There
fight
he is
story
with
right
all,
there.
there's with all this protection.
Never-
People fighting out there, and he's like,
Never got hit.
I'll tell you another story on the Reds, Bobby. So we'll see if you remember this one. We're playing the Expos.
They were hot then. I mean,
They
yeah,
won the
that
league
was,
that year.
wasn't that an all-star? No, that was the Phillies,
now,
wasn't it?
we had the All-Star team with John.
Remember
Gordon.
the
That's
Phillies when they added a team
Oh, yeah,
and they brought the whole all-star team up?
Right.
I mean, they were pretty good the first year, but after that they were fantastic.
Oh, yeah, they were on fire.
Yeah.
He's all 14 when he was 13, yeah. But and our team was pretty good. You know, we finished second place 3 years in a row.
I know. They were
Different team beat us each year.
Yeah.
So they put Hubbard into pitch. Joe Jones got on. Weaver was at second. You was at first.
Oh yeah.
I was up to bat. And I'm like, you're going down, Hubbard.
And I thought.
'Cause I'm not afraid of Hubbard. You know, Hubbard couldn't pitch. He could play, but he couldn't pitch. And I'm like, dude, just bring it in here and let me knock these guys in. And we'll call it a day. And you guys are going. The Expos are going down. Take that, Fred Kane.
Fred Kane.
Yeah, that's
That's
the name I
John
heard.
I
Yeah.
don't see a pitch. I don't see a pitch. And the inning's over. Hubbard picks off
that's
Joe
right.
Jones at third.
Yeah.
Weaver thinks he's going to try to take third. He fakes him out, gets him in a rundown, gets him. And I don't know what you were thinking.
I was just standing there.
They got you too.
Oh yeah.
And I'm looking at Hubbard. Hubbard's just eyeballing me all the way off the field like, now what?
It's just one of those oh
And
shit
I'm like-
moments.
I'm just like shaking my head like this just did not happen. You remember that though?
Oh yeah. He's the king of that day. The Hubbard was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you said, didn't have to throw a pitch.
He didn't throw a pitch to me. I'm thinking this game's over. He said, "Nah, I'll get them all out, and you won't even see a pitch."
That was the old Reds.
We talked about that when he was on our podcast. Remember?
I remember that one.
Oh, gee, the stories, Christian Park stories.
Yeah, that's great.
Give me one of your old Christian Park stories, there, Lisa.
Oh heavens, a Christian Park story?
Yeah, you and your girls, or anything there that stands out. You remember anything that was a hell of a park.
It was a great.
You know,
park.
Jay, my son here, he got to play there, and he hears me talk about it all the time. And it was a good time when he was there.
Did we have that also?
But that place was had a mystique about it. I mean, just the setting and all those kids and all the. I mean, you remember more off the field than you do on the field.
See, back to the team that we had with John Gannon. That team, the ultimate team, I believe, is that one of the green and gold jerseys that we had. Was
I'll tell you a story about that.
Oh,
in just a second.
man.
Lisa, what you getting ready to say? I know you're getting ready to say something.
Oh no, we used to play capture the flag till
Capture the
11
flag.
till 11 o'clock at night in the park. One would be up on the playground from 82, and the other was down by the community center on the east side of the street.
Wow.
We played till 11 o'clock at night.
The whole neighborhood.
The whole neighborhood.
So how'd you play capture the flag?
Yeah, I'd like
You
to
don't
know
know
that
how to play
myself.
capture the flag.
Me and Doug didn't get to play
don't
capture
know.
the flag.
You
Oh,
think
really?
of it as like,
I might have. Yeah, I got it.
You don't
play
know the
capture?
rules?
you
This
probably
is
remember freeze tag.
this is a PG.
Right, freeze. Right.
This is the PG version?
PG, not R, right?
Oh, tell me about your version.
No. I don't. I've not heard of that before. That's why I'm
You
asking.
guys never
So
played capture the
did you
flag?
have somebody guarding the flag?
Yeah.
So somebody guarded
But
the
I mean,
flag.
we did this every night. I mean, or we'd play
So
tag
if I'm
and-
trying to get the flag and you're guarding it, if you touch me, does that mean I'm out? Okay, so
Oh, so
Yeah, but I
you'd
mean-
send decoys in.
But it'd be a long way from one end.
Well,
to
there's
the
two
other to get
flags
that
up at
flag, get it
once.
right- Yeah.
There's two flags up at once, so you got to strategize. We're gonna go offense, defense,
Right.
because you can go for their flag, but you got to bring it all the way back to your flag to get the win.
okay, yeah.
Is the goal,
Yeah.
and both teams are trying to do that.
Now, give me some names I might know that plagued this in your neighborhood.
Did you know any of the Wagners? Ricky Wagner,
Well,
Joe
yeah,
Wagner,
all
Kenny
the
Wagner.
Wagners.
Yeah, they would live across the street.
Ryan Williams,
Decoys.
Leanne,
All the way is,
Susie.
yeah.
Lori Doherty and myself.
Yeah.
Paul Long, Mark Long, Mike Purdue,
How about the Wadsworth?
Ted
Kevin,
Mowers.
Ted,
Ted.
not the older
Well,
brothers.
I only knew Kevin and Ted. I didn't know
Yeah,
they had
Ted
older
was my
brothers.
class.
Yeah. I mean, we were always out. I mean, we'd even play, tag in our neighborhood. I mean, in the alleys and everywhere else.
What
You
about
can't do that
Casey?
these
Did
days.
Casey come in and play any of that?
No.
Casey everywhere.
We see Casey at the, for baseball and stuff, but we never saw him for
So
anything else.
Mike Rambo and Creases and McGinleys, they didn't come down and participate in any of that?
No, but we knew where the McGinleys and the Malots
That
were.
whole little block?
Yeah.
Was that Farrington? Was that what they
Farrington, and
Farrington.
then the other one was
Or
the Malots
Tony
were over on
Crease.
Wentworth.
Yeah, Wentworth.
Yeah, but anybody that wanted to play. But I mean, your parents, they had no idea where you were, but there was no reason to worry.
Mine did. I'm the same
No,
block.
because you knew to be in.
That's true. I take
had
that
no
back.
choice.
I
I had
take
to-
that back.
They get a ride to you. I didn't go anywhere.
Well, let me ask both of you, get your guys' 2 cents. This is something we've been talking about every podcast this season. Give me your 2 cents, Bob, real quick, and Lisa, you think about it. If you got anything to comment about, tell us your 2 cents on the Colts this year. What do you think there, man?
Well, like I said, I had season tickets 10 years back in the day. I think I told you before they come here, and just for my dad. But I've been a Patriots fan before Colts even got here. So I had to be, like I said, I'm loyal to my team. But so I had no desire. I only did it for dad, saying. But I also did it because I want to see the great teams like the Patriots coming in. But back in the day, mine was Grogan, which you brought up the other day.
Yeah.
And besides a crap logo they had the best logos, still do. But
I brought that up the other day. That was the only reason I was a New England fan.
And I like a throwing team, so that's, and then the whole leading up to Brady's story was a whole nother world,
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
So you follow football enough, but what do you think about what the Colts maybe have done right now?
Recently,
Putting
I
Saturday in?
Saturday was my. I love Saturday to death. Like I said, I even had a Brasky jersey back in the day, because he was badass before the Peyton Manning days. It was the Peyton Manning days.
Me and Curtis Dodd had season tickets the first 5 years.
See, mine was 10. I had to suffer with the Jeff George and all those,
But we got to see the Dan Marinos, the Bill Kelly, or Jim Kellys.
Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh was the one I had. And
I got to see San Francisco come here.
That's my point. I was seeing all the great teams, and I was in awe on that. Even because my days were Colts had the best Vinatieri.
Yeah.
Was the scores were like 6-3, 3-9. There's no, throwing touchdowns back in the day.
Yeah.
So I had to suffer, like, oh, we won, if we won,
Yep.
And they always get in a fight in the tunnel out in the streets, some out of town. But the biggest was when the Browns came to town. They were the suckiest team, but they had the control of that stadium.
Boy,
Like,
they did. They had a
them
heck
and
of
the
a following.
Raiders, unbelievable. They
I remember the Browns following a lot.
Oh yeah. But then I was even worse when I wore my Patriots jersey at the game. I got booed all the way to the car, and thinking I'm gonna get my ass kicked in this thing.
Yeah.
So Dad was
Lisa,
like,
what do you think about the Colts? What you a football fan?
A little bit, not so much. I mean, Saturday I worry that they won't keep him.
yeah,
I think he'll do well, but I think,
I think so too.
yeah, don't you think?
Yeah.
You don't think they're going to keep him? You think maybe they brought him in just keep the fan base at
Right.
bay?
Well,
And
so too.
he should be good at it.
I think he's-
he was a player. He
Yeah.
knows everything.
Did you see his first interview?
What was it about?
He said, "I'm here." He goes, "I know how to lead guys." Like people were basically saying, like, "You sure you're qualified for this?" And Jeff Saturday was like, "I've been to 2 Super Bowls. this many Pro Bowls. How am I not qualified?
What
for this?
qualifies
and if I
a head
read-
coach?
And he goes,
What qualifies
yeah, I
that?
might suck at it, then fire me, but I'm here.
If I read
That's what I'm
right,
saying.
Colts
Well,
had-
if he's smart, he'll come in. I bet you
He could start a dynasty here, really.
Me and you're thinking the same thing, and he's going to manage that team through his coaches.
right.
He's going to delegate. He's going to say, "Okay, you're running this, this, and this.
And
I'll be back to follow up on you.
That's
We'll,
the
we'll
way
have
to
some
do it.
conversation. Do your job."
That's
And
Well,
we-
the biggest
and we
part-
run the ball on 3-1, not throw it.
See,
Yeah.
and
Well,
they're-
the biggest part about coaching at that level for me is what can you do once the team figures out what you're doing.
Right.
Right. You get first of all, you got to do something good, whatever that is. Pick it, pass all the time, make them cover the pass or cover the run.
Yeah.
You got to do something good. From there, you can start doing other things. But Wright's downfall for me was the insanity of doing the same thing last week you did this week, and it didn't work last
See,
week.
you think of the trend. They get
So
a $1 million line. So I heard they get the most expensive paid line in the NFL,
Mm-hmm.
offensive line. I mean, and I'm thinking, where is this all going? So all the way back to the Luck days, the quarterback has no blocking. They keep bringing these legends in, which this is always the joke is this is where they go to die. All the way to the Brady's, whoever he may be next, but that's my point was. Somebody needs to put their foot in their ass saying, "Hey, we're paying you this much money during the week. We got a practice squad we can put you in for."
Well, and I agree to some extent, but you can't it can't always be play harder, right?
yeah.
That's not
Right.
the answer to every question
Right.
that sports is asking you, right?
Yeah.
You always, how do I get them to play harder?
Right.
How does my scheme help my players look good, right? Your scheme can make them look bad. It can make them look good. That's why the manager is so important. Is because of what he brings to the game at that level, especially probably more at that level than any level. Because there's not a team out there that don't have a big guy who can rush, right? A quarterback who can throw.
Right.
You know what I mean? Tom Brady sit on the sideline right behind Bledsoe. We all know how that turned out, right?
Speaking of, they just beat the Seahawks over there across the pond,
What was the final score?
16-21.
Oh, I was gonna say
They was
They
up
did a
14
flea
to
flicker.
nothing.
They did a flea flicker to Brady, and he went
I
out on
saw
a route,
that.
and
And
he
of
fell down halfway.
that would have been the that
So
would have
did
been
you say that they got beat or they won?
They
won.
won.
They won.
They're 2-0.
21-16.
yeah.
Yeah, they won. Tampa Bay.
That was the last play before I left. Was that?
Tom Brady.
I'm not sure I like playing games over there. Not games that count.
They're trying to expand the
See,
NFL.
I
I gotta
I
get
get
it.
it,
And
but
Brady-
let's do more preseason games
Right.
over there.
Uh,
We should do the whole preseason over there, then come back.
There you
I
go.
can
I
buy
agree
that.
with you because that's hard. I bet.
Hold on now, back up here, Ben. What's your reasoning?
Reasoning is because these guys are playing for stuff that counts for
Right.
them.
Home field
right?
advantage is
And
good,
home
though.
field advantage, and that's not traveling
They're
from
neutral.
Indianapolis.
So you're taking a home field advantage game away from one of these
I'm
teams.
right,
saying-
and you got these
One of
guys
them.
traveling where they're probably what 8-10 hour differences.
Right.
So
On
when
a plane.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Right,
if you've
and I-
been on
and
a
I-
plane lately,
It ain't
it's-
like your East Coast, West
You're
Coast
out
thing.
for-
It's
And that's
night
bad
and day.
enough, right?
Exactly.
We already see what it means if you're New
Seattle
England and go
versus
to
New England.
Yes,
It's
I
like
don't.
work.
I don't know about anybody else here, but when I get off a plane, I gotta chill for a whole
Oh,
day.
Well,
Same here.
absolutely.
Even on vacation, it's like, you know what? I'm gonna.
And that's probably the other
My
part.
ears
you
are
got-
hurting.
And you think about it. You think they ain't getting over there 2 or 3 days early,
Oh, they did. Yeah.
right? So they're getting there 3 or 3. Way
Well, that's
early.
why that makes sense.
And there again, now it's not a home game; it's a away game.
yeah, so
You know, and I don't know.
Both
There's too much at stake for them guys. At least where I'm at, I get it. You're trying to expand your, horizon there, but
See,
I don't
now
know.
I'm a Brady fan. Also
never
read
gonna
he's
take over
3-0
soccer, so.
overseas. Now he's 4-0. So he'll retire I'm sure he will sooner or later. But he undefeated overseas.
Hey, you was telling me his ex-wife.
Yeah, Giselle.
What she do? She just moved back in the
He moved in
neighborhood.
the same neighborhood.
She just moved
That's
away
what
from
my
it. And she
wife
moved
said.
back in the same neighborhood.
Same neighborhood he's living in.
Did they do that to help with getting the
I
kids
have
back
no
and forth?
idea.
Lisa's smiling. She knows why.
That she probably gonna bring all her boyfriends over and say, "See, Tom, we got somebody better than you, Antonio Brown."
What was that? What was that actor she used to see?
Oh, I can't remember.
He was a big one. DiCaprio or
Oh, really?
I don't know who it is, but it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. But yeah. So Lisa, you're doing good.
You're being
you're
kind.
hanging right in there with us.
You're
Yeah.
being
Now,
kind.
with that smile, that's why we can have the video, right? I can-
Right.
Video.
right.
That lights up areas a little
That,
bit.
let,
better.
that lit the whole place out.
Yes.
Yeah, no one wants to see you, player.
Hey, I don't have any mirrors, so not even me.
Play
I'm the same way, man. I don't want to be.
Right.
That's why I'm the engineer, not the artist. I never intended to be on stage. You know,
Yeah.
the camera on me. I'm cool on that.
Well, Jay, I was looking at your boy, looked him up a little bit this morning, that Benedict kid.
Oh yeah.
You know, you mentioned him 3-4 weeks ago.
So we're talking about the Pacers.
We're talking about the Pacers. We'll move to the Pacers here for just a second.
Yeah. Something
And
good.
he's averaging 20.4 a game, coming off the bench. He's averaging 3.5 rebounds and 2.2 assists off the bench. I think Jay nailed that guy. I think that kid's going to help the Pacers.
Oh, absolutely.
And they're back to 500 after last night.
Yeah, it's only one last night.
Yep. They beat Toronto.
Came back from what, 15 down to win by 14?
Yeah.
I think
were
Buddy
going
Hield is doing his job
He
a lot better than I even thought he would be able to do it.
he was a leading scorer last night. Buddy was.
Buddy.
Hield. But that kid is.
Well, he picked up Halliburton's slack when he had to, which was
And
the key.
First half.
Yeah.
Big time.
When I briefly was looking him up and checking him out and stuff, there was a few articles which I didn't completely read, but he's not intimidated at all by LeBron,
Who's that?
our kid that's playing with the Pacers.
Nah, he wants
He
he wants to
didn't
dunk on him.
He didn't get real smart about it, but he's letting LeBron, hey, LeBron, you're all that. But
Yeah. Well,
I'll play you. I'll
I-
play you.
I don't know why you would even entertain
So you said
talking
that's there
like that
last week or
personally. You
something.
know what
Well,
I mean?
I think some people brought it to him.
Well, you know what? You know what? We get to play the Lakers this year.
We'll see
You know what I
then.
mean? Yeah, that's and I'll be there.
Right.
Right? They gave me a jersey. I'll be there.
Well,
So we'll
another
see how
thing-
this works out.
Another thing I like.
But I do love the way they're playing right now. Halliburton had what, 13, 14 assists?
I mean, you look at the numbers; it's kind of like a college stats where everybody's getting the ball,
Yes.
everybody's scoring, everybody's
it's a
passing, everybody's blocking.
and when you
It's
watch
cohesive basketball.
and when you watch them live, you feel that part right there.
Yeah, it
they
isn't-
are
it isn't-
legitimately happy for the other guy because they're producing. They have skin in the game.
Yeah,
right?
usually you got two guys that have to have their shots and their numbers. This team isn't about that. Everybody's getting theirs. Is what's kind of nice about it.
in a good way. You know, everybody's earning. Like right now, I wouldn't give Miles Turner up. There's no way.
Didn't he talk
And I
about
was
that?
not a fan of his.
I think
over
Dad
the
said
last
that.
2 years.
Yeah, didn't
But
talk
he
about
has
getting-
one thing about Miles Turner that a friend of mine brought up to me the other day is when Miles came in, he was a rookie. You know, he's still a big guy. He's still 6'11", still a big tall kid, right?
Yeah.
But kid being the operative word there, right?
Yeah.
He's a grown man now. So when he
Yeah.
plays in that middle, he's a grown man. He had over 10 rebounds. He's starting to fill his role.
had over
for the
10
Pacers.
blocks.
Yes, and he's filling his role, and I'm glad we kept him. You know, so right now I'm going to be on his bandwagon. I'm going to start.
Well, this system works for him. You know,
Yes.
it gets him running. The older system was okay. Go sit in the post.
Yep.
All right, then go to the wing
Yep.
so we can open the lane up.
Yep.
But really, it's the run and gun with the young guys was what's working with him.
Yeah.
Because you know he needs to stretch
Well,
out.
he's going down there and working, getting them boards. You know what I mean? He got
Well,
a
the
couple
thing about
good
him,
offensive
too, is
rebounds
if-
last
if
night.
If he's open deep, he'll shoot it.
He did last night and hit a
He'll
few.
hit it.
Yes. Yep.
That's
for a
where
big guy.
my problem lies with him.
He's not doing it as much as he did last
Even
year.
if you're open, I feel like give it to Hill, Halliburton, or
Well, Hill and
Mathurin.
or at least Halliburton and Mathurin last night Mathurin was 0 for 5 in the first half and Halliburton for 1 for 9. So they picked it up in the second half and
He
lit
was
it up.
watching that game.
Listening to it.
Yeah, he said
I
he listened to
it
the whole
on
game.
radio.
Did you?
Man.
Yeah. It's,
Oh, yeah, I think
yeah.
he's a little bit bigger Pacer fan than what I
I-
was
Well,
thinking. about.
if you're
It's
gonna-
this team is what it is. Because
Yeah.
I'm the same way as Doug. I pay attention to the Pacers until I realize, all right, it's just the Pacers again. But I think this team is a little different. I think it's a little special. It's worth watching.
Well, you said that the other day. You said that you had nothing to do one night. And said, oh, shit, I'm going to go down and watch Pacers.
Yeah.
And you went down and actually watched them.
Right.
And it seems like since you've watched them, you're a little bit more intrigued. Hey, let me see what they're about here.
Well, it's fun to watch a team that can compete.
Right.
You know what I mean? Regardless, win, lose, or draw. That's what the Colts. That's why it was hard to follow them the way you want. And I'm still going to follow them regardless, right? But it's hard to.
Cheer
I was
for
talking to Lisa about it. You know, it's hard for me to cheer for the Colts. I want to get happy about a touchdown.
Yeah.
We might lose 21-17, but there was
Well,
two
that's what I'm
times.
getting at. In my days,
I
it
got
was
to-
always a field goal.
Yeah.
I had no of those
Yeah,
quarterbacks
it's
ever got
watching the
touchdowns.
Colts games like watching a soccer game. You know, I'm not.
True.
And you know what? God
a
bless
slam.
people that watch. Well, God bless people that watch soccer. They grew up watching it.
worst sport.
You know what I mean? I need a little more, right?
Right.
I need a few more bigger moments throughout the game.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
Then-
then like 2 or 3.
than
Watching
2 or
people
3
run
goals.
up and down the court.
But I'm not taking. Hey, when you watch soccer and the way them guys can handle that
Oh,
ball
they're-
with their
yeah.
feet and the
Rugby.
way they play, man, there is nothing
Well, I was
less
over-
than phenomenal.
I was over at your house the other night. We were talking, and there was a soccer game on.
Right.
And you was kind of watching it, and we was talking.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, boy, you rose up and you said, "Did that go in?" And that moment, I mean, that was pretty.
Yeah. Well, the guy from over by the corner, left-footed. He might be left-footed. I don't know, but he might be right-footed. He can kick with. But anyway, he kicked it like an assist, and the guy headed it right into the goal.
I mean, he timed it.
and it was
perfect.
all perfect. You know, yeah, it was like watching Mark Jackson give it to.
Now this
make
team
a
was
pass.
within a minute or less than a minute from winning
from
this
winning
game.
the game.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
And this goal came out of nowhere. Then they
It was
tied
the Los
it.
Angeles game. It was the championship game. Matter of fact, that we were watching. Los Angeles and Philly
Oh, really?
was the other team. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a soccer guy.
I see.
Well,
I'm
like I
not
say,
either.
it's hard
I mean,
to
yeah.
it's hard to follow. I get it.
World
But
Cup.
that's because of how
And, you know,
our minds are trained.
hockey.
See, now that
Can't do
day when racers were here.
But you
that's why
take
I'm at.
me, or I go to a hockey game and watch it live.
Oh, it's.
I'm
it's-
into it.
See, I got ironically you said that.
A lot of
I got
people feel that way
row
about
seat.
baseball, Dad. They hate baseball, but if you take me to the game, I'll be into it.
See, anymore.
Yeah.
I've even played my whole life in baseball. It's kind of boring on TV. Even.
It is.
mean,
I can't do it.
slow.
I mean,
I've
you know,
never
I
sat
I
through
can
a
coach,
game.
and I'm into that. I'm there.
Now the World Series, I could get.
World Series, I can get
Yes.
into.
Playoffs. College baseball is interesting.
Right.
I can watch college baseball. I can watch a whole game of college baseball, but you get to put an MLB game on in midseason, ain't no way.
Here's the pitch.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it because
That's
there's
slow
so many
outside.
games?
It is. It's mid-season, and people are just working through injuries, and they're slow grinding to their numbers to just make the
Sometimes you hear
playoffs.
the peanuts
Right.
eating
And it's just not
peanuts
serious.
in the background. So crunching
That's how it
peanuts.
feels. Like
You know, I'm $1 million guy. Do I need to throw another pitch? It's what? What are we talking about here?
And
You
you
winning
know,
the
when
game?
commentators-
Yeah.
when the commentators talk about somebody in the crowd. That's how boring the game is. Look at that guy over there eating those peanuts. My dad. Those shells are everywhere on the ground. I only come for the peanuts and hot dog. But
Yeah, baseball's not fun until the playoffs.
Yeah.
Let's get real. As a viewer, it's just not. That's why I started pitching. I don't know if Dad knows this, but I got bored. So how can I be on every play of the game? I'm tired of sitting over here at first
Catching.
base,
Right.
and then only batting once every 3 innings. Well, if I start pitching, then I get to play every play,
right.
right?
Exactly.
So that's why I started pitching. Really,
catching
Okay.
the same
Yeah.
way.
I got bored.
That's a
with it.
good. That's a good motivating.
The same was catching. You know, it took me 2 or 3
Yeah.
years to get that ball to second base. That like minors, I was 80 pounds wet. It took me forever. After 3 hops a second, I finally
right.
got
But
it.
at least
Bob,
you're in on every
You're
play,
cutting-
though.
Yeah, exactly. That's
we
my
never
point.
really talked about it, but you know, when you got up to 15 years old, you was pretty badass. You was a lot better catcher, I think, than you even realized you was. And I tell you why I say that
Thanks for telling
is Bob got to the point where he was throwing the ball to second, somebody stealing on a rope. I mean, he's probably one of the better catchers that I ever received the ball down to second to.
And you're the best second baseman I've ever
You know,
had back in the day.
back in the day.
Well, look at both of those.
Yeah.
Back in the day. This ain't no back in the day.
But I
Bobby
mean,
right here.
Bobby got really good on receiving the ball and throwing those guys out second. I mean, I say that because I played with you my whole life, just about, you know, when you was a kid.
Yeah.
And you was mediocre or average. You played on the Orioles, if I remember right.
Yeah.
In the majors.
Orioles, yeah.
That team wasn't all that.
Gray,
You was-
yeah.
but when you got up to juniors,
Yeah.
you started really
Across
coming
the
on.
street.
Yeah, across the street.
Yeah. Across the street.
Like, it reminds me earlier, I was thinking
We
about
didn't have
we
no
was talking
fence in
about
the seniors, did we?
No.
It's
Had
just-
that tree out
Hit
there
that
left
tree, and
field.
it's a home run.
Doug's 13 years old. I'm behind the fence there on the diamond watching him. He's coming up to bat. Tom Schuster's on the hill. I seen Beth Schuster the other day, matter of fact.
I
I'm gonna tell you
haven't
about
seen
that
her
in a minute.
forever.
I see Tim all the time.
Oh, really?
See,
So,
yeah, we play golf.
So Doug's up to bat, and I'm behind. I go watching it, and Schuster throws this pitch, and it's just wicked, and it comes flying right at him, and poof, curveball. I'm like, whoa! Doug went belling out, looks back at me, and I looked at him and went, "You're on your own, bro."
Well,
That's exactly what I said too.
Tom's first pitch was a fastball.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit high. So he made you well aware he could throw the ball hard.
Right.
You know what I mean? And at that point, I was well aware of that.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, this guy, this ball's hitting the mid pop. If he hits me, it's going to hurt.
Right.
Right. And I'm like, I didn't have all the elbow stuff.
Oh, yeah,
and,
that-
I didn't have any of
No,
that.
hey,
Right.
we're
You
lucky
know.
to have a hat.
That stuff
Yeah.
didn't. When I got to college, I was almost amazed because growing up in Christian Park, kids weren't the richest. No one had that stuff either. Well, when I got to college, all those kids had that stuff, and I was like, "What is this?
what my grandson-
Elbow pads and
grandson
knee
same
pads?
Yeah.
What's going on here?"
You even got your stuff down by your ankle.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
if you're going to play,
guards.
even the kids on my team.
Well, you see the new little thing they got now, like that little extra padding.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're stilling, you got
Oh,
that
the
little
slide.
extra advantage. You got that little, and that
Oh,
comes
I
into
thought-
play.
I didn't know
sometimes.
Have you
that.
seen them?
Mitt?
They'll switch their gloves out now for a mitt. So
Yeah.
when they
Right.
go
Yeah,
into
the mitt's
head
what I
dive,
Slide mitt
yeah.
or something like
And
that.
it's all, but I thought it was meant to kind
What
of
does Pete Rose think about that
See,
slide
protect
glove?
them from breaking fingers is what
But I
I
think
thought.
Bobby brought that's a
It
good
keeps
point.
your
If
hand
it's
together.
extended glove,
And I think them guys
You're gonna get that
diving.
extra
you're gonna
little.
get that extra.
I just
edge.
wonder what guys like Pete Rose think about stuff like
especially
that.
if they have a TV.
Well, hell,
it's a
think
trivia.
about Pete Rose was probably
King
for
of
me. He was
stealing bases.
well, and he was one of the first guys I ever remember diving.
Oh yeah,
He was belly flopping.
yeah,
He
man,
what
he
threw
was
me off.
Just
those Reds were the best
Yeah.
back in my
He was
Yeah,
belly
boy.
flopping. That had to
Except
hurt.
Sean.
He wasn't
Sean-
diving with grace.
He being a catcher.
no,
my,
he wasn't as graceful, no, but he was definitely playing the game hard, and he was coming
Those
in there.
Cincinnati Reds were one of my idols.
Hey, I got
Johnny
this. I got
Bench.
this Jeff Saturday clip. If I can play it on the microphone here.
Play it.
Here's the deal. Everybody talks about I'm completely comfortable in who I am as a man, bro. I know I can lead men. I know the game of football, and I'm passionate about it. I have no fear about, are you as qualified as somebody else, bro? I spent 14 years in a locker room. I went to playoffs 12 times. I got 5 dudes in the Hall of Fame that play with it. You don't think I've seen greatness? You don't think I've seen how people prepare, how they coach, how they GM, how they work? I mean, won Super Bowls, been to 2. Like, here's the deal, man. None of us are promised a good job. I may be terrible at this. And after 8 games, I'll say, God bless you. I am no good. I may be really good at it. I got no idea, but I dang sure ain't going to back down. I can tell you that.
There you go.
Man, I tell you what do you think, bro?
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, he
That's
was.
what he said, didn't he? He said, bro.
Sound like it is.
Yeah, anytime somebody's throwing a bro at you like
Yeah.
that, he's
Serious.
they've touched a nerve. He's like,
Well, you know
I'll
what?
show you.
Well, it's because the guy asked him, "Do you think you're qualified?" Jeff Saturday to be the
Right.
the coach of the.
Was that the question he was answering?
Yeah, he was looked at him and said all that. Like,
Right.
Oh, that's
are
what
you
I'm
serious?
thinking.
Is that a real? I'm more
Well-
qualified than any coach that's ever been here.
Right.
Well, didn't he kind of throw the Raiders under the bus a little bit too? Before all this happened?
Who did?
Because they're making a big deal about
Saturday?
that. Saturday did.
All right, all right.
Because he's been in a lot of ESPN commentating
yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
And, I think he made it. They're playing it up big since they're playing them today. Yeah, Saturday he said this before he got the job. Long story short, we'll see.
You think
what's
he'll be
going on today?
If I was Jeff Saturday, I would start Matt Ryan next week.
But
You know
they're
that-
competing. They already
I
said
thought
that.
the same thing. I
He's
thought
got
I'd
him
start
back.
Matt Ryan.
Matt
today.
Ryan would be if I'm coaching
Matt
and I'm in
Ryan.
his shoes.
Right.
I'm bringing Ryan back. He's my best opportunity to win.
Well,
Yeah.
there again.
Ellinger had his chance. He did.
Well,
he didn't. He didn't
the
prove it.
First thing I got to do is let him coach because we're going to say Ellinger had his chance with Frank Wright, who Matt Ryan
Yeah,
had
that's
his
true.
chance with Matt Wright.
That's true.
None of
That's
that
true.
looked good. None of it.
Yeah, you're right.
Right. So let's don't start. At this point, let's don't start passing blame
We-
quite yet. I think Frank Wright deserved all the blame we gave him. You know what I mean? But at this point, I'm with Saturday. What does qualify
Yeah.
a
Frank
good
Wright-
leader?
didn't
Until
Frank
that guy's been in the moment, you won't know.
Didn't Frank Wright call
Right.
most of the plays back then too? The offensive.
Now
plays?
he was
used
the
to?
offensive coordinator at Philly,
Oh, okay, I thought he did.
and I don't
close
know.
as
Yeah, well, he called it. He fired an offensive coordinator,
Yeah,
so
so
I
I thought the same
assumed
thing.
that he was.
Yeah,
I'm sure he was
drain the swamp.
involved
I say.
quite a bit.
Drain the swamp.
So, but yeah, I'm glad for Saturday.
That was his fault,
I
guy.
think it's a great
I'm
move
totally
by the
glad
Colts
for
because
I think it
Saturday.
is too.
there's,
I think
there's
he'll do
nothing
well,
to
but I
lose.
think he's going to deal with that negativity the
Oh,
whole
that's
time.
it, yeah.
I tell you what, if he wins, it's everybody's on board
He's
player.
the kind that looks.
He's
at
a
football.
Colt.
Well, he's in a win-win situation
He's a
for
Colt
him
player.
because if he wins, he looks like the next coming
Does
of
it play
Christ.
Vegas
But if
Day,
he
don't they?
loses, it's kind of like, okay, well, he got handed this shitty.
Do they play Vegas
spot.
today?
Well, there again,
Yes.
the good thing about him coming in right now is, we already have a barometer, right? 7 games or maybe 8 games now of what Frank Wright's team looked like, right? So we get to go from here with Saturday's team, right? If he makes the playoffs, God bless him. You know, you got it all figured out. If he goes 500 from here, we start evaluating how he did. You know, I mean,
I got a prediction. I think it's gonna be a shit show still for the rest of the year, but I think people will be passive on Saturday, not his fault, and then next year, I think Jeff Saturday will have something to prove. That's my prediction.
Good analogy.
I think he's gonna think the whole year on who he's gonna bring in as quarterback,
Right.
And I think that's gonna determine on how the rest of the season. Not saying he's not gonna throw the season. He's gonna play to win, but I don't think they're really gonna win that much, and they're not gonna make the playoffs. Is my prediction. And next year is his year that he wants to prove something.
you know, I don't know. I mean, I couldn't. And here again, I know we talked about this last week, maybe, but whatever. But I don't know how you coach not to win. I just don't understand
I'm the
that
same way.
whole
I thought
philosophy
the same
Jeff Saturday
of going. I'm going to show up and coach, and you know,
I don't get that.
yeah, you know.
Why?
I think Jeff Saturday's going to come out there and show his ass.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
I agree.
And if I can blow you off the field, player, this is who I am.
That's what I'm saying, but I don't think it's
And what he's going to do is that now as he goes along, if he's good, if he shows us how to win, he is going to be evaluating talent. Don't get that wrong, right?
Right.
If we go 5-3, he's going to say, "What guy caused me not to go 6-2?
Right.
What guy caused me not to go 7-1?" Right?
Mm-hmm.
He's going to evaluate talent. That's his job.
Yeah.
You know, that's his job as a coach. I think he's highly qualified as far as qualification. Now, you know, the proof's going to be in the pudding. But I'm going back him.
Now I predict that I'm out of the prediction business.
Yeah,
Well,
I see that.
Did you hear about what happened at the beginning when we first started these, Lisa?
No.
Oh, I went. Colts are going to be 10-6-1 this year.
Yeah.
I blew it.
Bless
And
your heart.
Doug was not too far behind me.
Nice,
And then you heard me in the background going, "No."
Well, guys, we're going to wrap it up, but I appreciate all of you being here. Lisa, thank you. You did great. Okay,
You're being kind.
You-
You're being very kind.
Bob,
Thanks for having us.
Big Bob, Big Bob.
Hey, try to get that end of the show thing that we talked about. That
Yeah,
the callers.
where if somebody wants
Right in,
to
they
ask a
wanna
question
get a
or,
question,
you know.
call
Oh, I like that. You did bring it up to me.
Yeah.
Here's what we'll do. If you ask a question in the comments, we'll start off by answering
That's
it next week.
There you go.
That's a great idea.
I like it.
So yeah,
And
if
we'll
you
take
ask
we'll
the
take
question-
one question or we'll take two questions and we'll
I
answer
nicknamed it the Harry.
one from each
Harry-
Bobby.
Yeah.
Harry
I like
Carey
that.
into the take me out.
Jay,
Seventh inning
thanks,
stretch, what I call it.
Thanks for having us again. Doing a great job.
Thanks,
We
Jay.
really appreciate it. I know Dad here does. Bobby Jones,
Yeah.
always great, buddy. You
Yeah.
do a good job. I appreciate you. But till we come back, we'll see you around.
All right.